CrypticCorner, because I changed the name, CrypticCorner, because I don't want to be associated with crypto bros. I don't want people, to mistake my channel or my show, the CrypticCorner show, for a crypto show and just scroll past it. If you're interested in cryptozoology, I've been 14 topics, paranormal, supernatural, ghostly, and extraterrestrial topics, then CrypticCorner is for you. We don't talk about cryptocurrency here. We talk about monsters and the mayhem surrounding them, and supernatural powers from beyond, and voices from beyond the grave, creatures from another world. That's the topic we have here. So it's going to be CrypticCorner from now on, because we talk about those cryptic sightings that people report from the beyond. All right, and today, continuing our TikTok month, inspired by our one and only D Parks, we are looking at TikTok hashtag sea monsters. So, our very first video reads, disturbing thing caught by drone. I think this one has a narrator. I'm gonna let it play for a second, see if it's stupid robotic. I might just mute it and tell you what I see, or probably we'll watch it through more than once anyway. But here's the first one, very first thing starting off.
Disturbing things caught by drones. In this 2015 drone footage, several officials in hazmat suits are on the bank of a river in Poland, performing some unknown functions. Suddenly, 4 of them appear to be lifting something pretty heavy from the ground. As they move towards the paramedics with their mysterious finding, a huge fishtail can be seen poking out from behind, suggesting a monstrous sea creature. The hazmat people then return to the water's edge before climbing back up the hill and helping push the stretcher away, out of view. Disturbing things caught by drone.
All right, so let's unpack this. I'm guessing folks, not in hazmat suits, I wouldn't say. They're, I guess it could be hazmat suits. It looks like, what they're grabbing, though. I don't know if I'd say it's a fishtail. It's kind of big in proportion to the rest of the organism to be a fishtail. I don't know. Let me see. So they pick it up, and here's where I don't think it looks like a fishtail. Look at that right there. We're gonna back it back up. See right there, that doesn't look like that from that angle. It does not look like a fishtail. It almost looks like narrow, I want to say limbs, but they aren't flat paddled like a fishtail or a marine mammal. They're kind of rounded and individually lobed. I think they look like maybe tetrapod limbs. It's in a weird position though. But that's probably about the best view you get of it right there, and then they're right in the middle with the freaking play button on the middle of it. Thanks, TikTok. I don't know what this one is. It could be a sketch. It could be, I don't want to say like an outbreak of some kind of disease or anything, but it could be a dead animal. I'm not sure on this one. I don't think it looks like a monster. I don't think it looks like because the claims are, oh, it's a mermaid. It's a mermaid, but I think the proportions are wrong. That what they're calling the tail there. It seems to make up at least a third of the mass of the organism. So what they're calling the tail is a lot of what the body of the organism is. I don't know. You tell me in the side chat, in the comments below. What do you think this one is? Because I'm not sure. Honestly, and I don't say that too much. Usually I come up with some kind of theory. But I don't think it looks like a mermaid, or I don't think it looks like a fish either. I don't think it looks like anything aquatic. I think the location of the riverbanks might be circumstantial. But I don't know. So yeah, that was that one. He's ready to move on. This one's just a fun one. Tell me what you guys think of this. It's really short. This one's only like 17 seconds. Fisherman. Cast his line up under the hills there. Boom. Oh yeah. And that eel is not messing around. Because that's not many people making speculations on this. A lot of speculation that it could be a catfish or an eel. I think it's an eel just based on the tail structure mostly. Because that's what pops up out of the water right about there. Oh, went a little too far. Right about there. That looks like an eel tail to me. So this one, yeah, has I don't know if that's on a baby duck lure. It doesn't look like it, but I've watched some of these guys do this where they catch the stuff that's under the overhang there with baby duck lures, and the fish go crazy for them. I didn't know baby ducks were so much on the menu for giant eels and catfish, but yeah. So that's that one. There's a monster. It's not really a sea monster, but so river or lake or pond maybe. This could be an inlet. Anyway, let's see what we got next. So we got a lot of these. This one here, y'all tell me. I don't know. This very distant in the fog. The claim, obviously, is that we are looking at the elusive kraken, a giant squid or octopus of henceforth unknown proportions. But Brainbug says this is really good CGI. The fog gives you a perfect mask to work your tiny pixel art and make some cool special effects. But there are a few different versions of this video of varying quality. This one is by far the best quality. There's one that I think is original. I didn't get it. I don't know why. I should have grabbed it just to show you a comparison. But it is the original is very clearly water spouts. Which are like tornadoes out to sea. And they're not all that uncommon. It's really cool to see 2 or 3 of them together, which is what the original video is. And people are like, oh, is this a kraken? But it's clearly that. This one is not that, though. This one's the one that looks more kraken-like because it's special effects. Anyway, moving forward. Yeah, because we got some great stuff to go through. All right, we got some underwater footage. I don't know if this one's narrated or not. We're going to give it a listen. Nope. Okay, so we're not going to listen to ship sounds deep under the water. It was recorded somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean, allegedly. We got a nice little spectrogram down there in the corner so we can kind of see the sounds. Oop, there's some eyes. Eyes in the darkness. Swimming up. More eyes. And is that supposed to be like a dragon's head? That's kind of cool. Dragon or like a sea serpent head or something. Maybe like an alien jellyfish with wings. This one I think is CGI too. Just because the eyes first appear down low, right there. You see them popping up at the bottom, and they move. So pay attention to where the eyes are appearing at early on in this footage, and then when we pop ahead, that's going to be like on the ground, and it seems like it's further away, like almost like they'd be underground. Oh, hold on. Maybe I'm being, because they look down. Okay, so I mean, they could change the direction they're looking between there and there. So let's see. Is there room for what is appearing? Because you can see the ground right there. So it's like coming up from underground. I don't know. So if this is not CGI, I have a hypothesis. I think I'm pretty confident in the CGI. Mainly because you aren't going to find a lot of sea life with blinking eyelids like that. You live in a marine environment. It's really, I mean, there. Not to say that there aren't sea animals with eyelids, but very human-like blinking situation going on here. I do like this one though. I was going to speculate that maybe we're looking at a ray or a skate that was resting on the seafloor there and was disturbed by the camera. I don't know for sure. And look at it one more time. You can see the seafloor in the blackness too, though, is the problem, and it looks like it's just appearing out of the seafloor. That's why I think it's CGI. That's my opinion. Let me check with my side chat here really quick and see if anybody else has got any theories on this. Nope, nothing so far. Okay, so moving on. All right, here's a weird looking monstrosity for you. What do you guys think of this? If I had to name this species, I'd probably call it a baboon fish, just based on those massive canines. This is, beyond a doubt, a art sculpture. This is a kind of famous art sculpture. It did make its rounds on the Globster forums in the crypto community, but it is definitely a piece of art put together. Do we have the name of the artist here? Surely we do. Looking through the comment section just a moment. Enjoy our weird gorilla monster, gorilla fish, baboon fish, however you want to call it. Oh, okay. Juan Cabana, or Cabana, is the artist. So if you're interested in what this is and seeing more things like it, Juan Cabana. It's a sculpture. All right, let's see what we have next. Ew, something slimy. Anybody want to see something slimy? Eyeball. Decaying flesh. It's absolutely massive. Absolutely massive and still squishy. And ooh, here's where it gets good. This is where Brainbug gets to do the Brainbug thing. And look at these vertebrates, because these vertebrates tell us so much about the pedigree of our monster. Let me let the video finish though, but let's pay close attention to these vertebrae. How many of them there are? All right. I know what this is, but I'm going to give everybody a chance to give a assessment here. We just talked about these. Hey, Rawmat, I know you watch all my stuff. Pay attention to this, because it's very important that you understand that how tepophany works with big sea organisms, especially sharks, because this is a shark. This is a basking shark ring. You win the prize for today. Yep. And in a state of decay. And pay attention to the shark vertebrae, because this is what I want everybody to make sure they mention when they run into young Earth creationist or anybody proposing that the Japanese trawled plesiosaur was not a basking shark. Direct them to look at the vertebrae. Sharks have very distinct narrow vertebrae that actually have this ribbing on them that makes them look like a filter, kind of a. And it's because they don't have, they're cartilaginous. They don't have the same calcification in their bones, so they're reinforced with ridges. But that's neither here nor there. You can always tell when something's a shark if you get a good look at its vertebrae. They're narrower, so tetrapod vertebrae tend to be about 2/3 as wide as they are, or as thick as they are wide. Whereas sharks, it's about 1/5 the width compared to the length. So they're almost like discs, whereas our vertebrae are more like can shaped or cylinders. Yeah, but this is definitely a basking shark. Oh, CrypticCorner, the mascot for CrypticCorner should be a basking shark, right? How many times has it turned out to be a basking shark? Like every time? Every time? No, not every time, but a lot of times. Well, let's go on. Let's go on and see what they got next for us. What other sea monsters are lurking in the depths of TikTok? All right. Sea monster caught on camera. This is hashtagged as scary, weird, terrifying. Let's decide if we think it's terrifying or not. Ah, yes, this is a classic. Did you catch that, folks? What do we have here? Watch. We're going to have what appears to be a plesiosaur with a plesiosaur with a paddle tail for some reason. With a not just a paddle of a tail, but a horizontally patterned. So let me talk about. Oh, I gotta pop myself back up again real quick. Not to Creation Watch, but to CrypticCorner. So tetrapods, when they swim, okay, when tetrapods swim, their tail motions can go one of two ways, depending on if they're a synapsid or a diapsid. It's just the way that our body's locomotion has kind of evolved. But diapsids, like snakes, like crocodiles, like marine iguanas, any reptile that swims, in birds too. But we'll get into that in a second. Because birds are a little bit weirder with the way that they like to swim, because they use their arms for propulsion, don't really move their spine in much of a direction at all. But for the majority of diapsids, it's a side to side motion. You've seen a snake swim, you've seen a crocodile swim, like a fish, side to side. Now, synapsids, like you and I, seals, dolphins, whales. When we get into the water, otters, that's how we force ourselves through the thicker medium, is through an up and down motion as opposed to the side and side motion of other tetrapods. So this has a very distinct impact on our development and what we turn into when we're evolving. So if you're pushing water this way, you have a vertical fins coming off of your body that develop. You have like fish are another animal that moves vertically, and their fins go up and down, and they move through the water column that way. Crocodiles their tails can be laterally, marine or saltwater crocodiles are more laterally compressed for doing that as well. It's just a trait of evolution. Marine reptiles were no different. And then marine mammals, when they develop their fins, are flat, horizontal, and they move through the water like that. So obviously brings us back to our alleged plesiosaur that has a mammalian tail fluke that is going this way. And no, that's not how plesiosaurs would have propelled themselves through the water. They didn't have the tail fluke, but if they did, it wouldn't be horizontal like that. This is CGI done over a whale jumping out of the water. That is my final thoughts on it. But it's pretty old. This one's from way back in the day. Oh, right. A sea monster was caught on camera in a lake somewhere in Australia. It's Australian sea monster time. What are we looking at here, folks? Looks like an alligator at first, but it gets closer. We're going to talk about that in a second, too. Seems to have a tail of a whale, but the head of something alien-like. What do you think? I do think I have a lot of thoughts. So, my first thought is, you're in Australia, why are you going to alligator? Maybe it's a language thing. But Australia has crocodiles, not alligators. This has nostrils at the end of its snout, which is good. So this, I don't see what they're talking about, it having the tail of a whale. I'm watching now again through to see if I can pick out what it was referring to. I am fairly confident I know what this is. I welcome disagreement, of course. Yeah, gators are not in Australia. Where's the tail of the whale? No, I see a tail of a crocodilian. I see what is very much a big croc carrying something in its mouth. Some tasty snack that it's managed to snag, probably off of those banks behind it. And it is swimming out to have a meal. So, yeah, I don't think this is a sea monster at all. I think it's a crocodile carrying its prey. I like how it snorts the water out of its nose right there. Yeah. Very majestic when they do that. And you can kind of see a trend towards aquatic characteristics in this organism too. This kind of fits with what I was saying before about the tail motion. This thing's moving side to side, not up and down. If it's moving up and down that close to the surface, you'd see parts of it rising up and down out of the water. Very good, distinct swimming patterns. All right, what else do we have here? Hey, student Dr. Ben, do you see this long Furby here that's swimming across the Australian lake? Yeah. They breed in those lakes, and then they lay their eggs in your dreams. All right. This one's taken from a plane. Let's have a look. It says, bro, what is that? So we're watching the water because this is sea monsters, right? And he sees a black shape under the water. And he's like, what? What is that? But we are pretty high up. And I am of the opinion that what we are looking at in this video, I'll let him finish. I keep wanting to get ahead of myself and spoil the surprise. Now, this is definitely a school of fish. I mean, come on. I think that, tell me if you disagree, of course. I'm willing to concede any points that if you bring me evidence there's something about this that says that, hey, this is something not natural and not what a school of fish should look like, I'm okay with that. Bring it on. But yeah, to me, this is a school of fish. Seen from on high. Well, not that high, because you can see the land masses down there and kind of how proportionate the rocks are. I mean, I don't know how big the land mass is, but you can kind of use that for a little bit of scale. All right, yep, is fish. 100% agree, D Parks. Hey, Germania. We haven't got to the gay dinosaurs yet. You haven't missed it. That's going to be at the end. Even Cthulhu fears the Murby. And by the way, for people who don't know, Murbies are when a long Furby evolves to fill an aquatic niche because scuba divers, submarine pilots, underwater welders, all of these people have nightmares too, and that's a perfect habitat for long Furbies to lay their eggs in. So it's no surprise that long Furbies have adapted to an aquatic lifestyle to fill that niche vacuum of the nightmare of all these underwater workers. So, yeah, that's what they have to do. All right, this next one. What do you guys think? Now, remember what I said about the shark vertebra earlier, because sharks have really narrow disc-like vertebra, and this definitely does not have disc-like vertebra. It has very serpentine-like vertebra, because this is very anatomically similar to a large snake. Very large snake. Yeah, and that's because of the sculpture. This is the sculpture in the ocean. It's not an animal at all. It's a tourist attraction. I've looked at it on Google Map too. I wish I had the coordinates, because I'd tell you where to go locate it at. Maybe I'll get those and make that bonus content for my patrons. What do you guys think? What do my patrons out there think? You all want bonus content where you can go out and look at the map of this giant skeletal snake sculpture in the ocean? I think I will do that. But yeah, sculpture. We're getting into some more globster territory here. And I know I have some people in the side chat here who will probably ID this sucker right away. But let's see, giant fish or sea monster? Remember what I said about the way that that vertebrates divide at the aquatic locomotion level, and how that affects the tail fluke, and this is a fluke on this one. Yes, this is a very small member of the Balena, the stethicids of the baleen whales. I don't know the exact species at this state of decay, but you can tell by its tail that it's a marine mammal, and you can tell by the articulation of its jaws that it is a filter feeder, and the lower jaw is in this image looks much bigger. I don't know if it's the angle. The lower jaws of baleen whales generally are bigger, because they got the big neck that expands like a pelican's throat sac, kind of, except for it fills up with little fishies and plankton and krill, and it pushes all the water out. But that's why the bottom jaw looks so saggy and weird, and then the top jaw is what generally people see poking out of the water and stuff when they talk about seeing baleen whales. the bottom jaw is, yeah, it's like something like a minke whale. I'm not gonna ID it specifically, Ring, just because of the state of decay, but yeah, something like a minke whale or one of the other smaller species of baleen whale. Not a toothed whale, but, and which is kind of strange because most of the time globsters are like beaked whales, like Baird's beak whale and stuff like that. But yeah. Anyhow, that's my opinion. And I was waiting for Ring to pipe in because I know that that Ring likes animal science as much as I do. All right, this one's asking if it's Nessie, but it seems to be washing ashore this on the ocean. So I doubt very much that it's Nessie. This is more of a traditional globster. Globster tail 87. All right. Yep, we're in the Philippines. A big old chunk of slimy, globby organic material washes up on the shore. People get all excited, don't know what to make of it, and then it eventually disappears back out to sea. This one, I didn't realize there's all these news pieces cut into it, but this one appears to be, I'm gonna say it's like a whale fat. That's what it usually is like a big old hunks of gooey, slimy blubber from a whale. The people will assume or make the inference that it's like an octopus, and you can see why. I mean, the texture and everything kind of gives it that impression, but it always turns out to be fat from a whale. And I'm going to say that this one's probably the same thing, because that is the very nature of the globster. All right. Lake Michigan, here we come. I think I just discovered a sea monster. The fish has got a spiked tongue. Yeah. Because it is a predator. And it eats other fish. Very fishy teeth. Yeah, this is a... I mean, as far as this is the monster of Lake Michigan. This is the apex predator of Lake Michigan. And it's a common species. Usually people will fish for these more in like more rural nature park type lakes, but they're in Lake Michigan too. They're in all the Great Lakes. This is the northern pike, or the white pike. And they are massive fish, very almost like barracuda-like. They do have a history. They've never killed anybody. They do have a history of biting people on occasion, though. So in a northern lake, actually there's a lake not too far from here, about 40 miles from here. That's the southernmost lake that has a stock of northern pike in it. I don't know how they're doing now. It's been a long time since I've been there. It was last time I was there, I think it was 2005 or something like that. So it's been a long time. I don't know if they even still have any pike in there with climate change stuff going on. And that lake probably is not quite cool enough to keep a healthy population going, but I don't know for sure. Anyway, but this one's definitely a pike. That's my opinion. Again, disagree, agree. That's what it is. So we got one more. Okay, we got one more. And this one is pretty cool. So without further ado, our final hashtag sea monster for today. On CrypticCorner. Gotta learn to say that. CrypticCorner. We got 3 C's all there together, and it sticks in my throat a little bit, but that's okay. 2004 Cape Town. An underwater drone was investigating a shipwreck until it caught something strange. got this music playing. It's kind of annoying. Sorry about that. Great white sharks are amazing predators of warm-blooded animals, and electrical impulses are what they use to pin down their prey. To not necessarily pin down. I don't mean hold down. I mean pin down the location of their prey. Excellent sense of smell. Sight is just like a secondary sense for most sharks. Not something they're dependent on a lot. There are exceptions, of course, but by and large, sharks are using electromagnetic impulses and their sense of smell to track down what they want to eat. And it is honing in on this drone, trying to see if it's something yummy. All right. So that was Crypto Corner for today, April 16th, 2022. And we talked about the hashtag sea monsters on TikTok. We learned... Oh, the music was too loud. Sorry. I didn't realize it was coming across so loud on your all's end. I hope it wasn't drowning me out too much. I can try to balance that out a little bit. But that was Crypto Corner. If you're watching this on Friday, thank you so much for coming in. Please remember to be kind and take care, and we will see you next weekend.